Okay, in the New Testament, only two books are written by Greeks, Mark and Luke. I should say three books because Luke wrote two books. Luke wrote the Gospel of Luke, and then he also wrote the book of Acts. Luke's Gospel is more complete than any of the others. He's the only one that tells the whole story surrounding the birth of John the Baptist, Jesus' cousin, who was born 6 months before Jesus was. We can, from the Gospel of Luke, figure out exactly when Jesus was born. Most people don't know this, but Jesus was born in the fall of 5 BC, probably sometime around late September, early October. And we can figure that out because he tells us John the Baptist's father, Zechariah, was a member of the cohort of Ahijah, which is one of the Levitical priests of the Old Testament. And we know when they served. And so we can figure out the date of John the Baptist's birth and approximate date of Jesus' birth. Luke gives us details about rulers and people, and he's the only one that tells us about John the Baptist's birth. He tells us about the birth of Jesus. If you read Luke's gospel, you'll see the whole story of Jesus from beginning to end with many details. Even after the death and the burial and the resurrection of Jesus, you see Jesus meeting people and talking with people and explaining himself. And in one case, he's walking with some guys that don't recognize him. And he teaches them, and their hearts burn within them. And they go into a house and they invite him to stay with them. And he comes in and he breaks the bread. And when he breaks the bread, he offers prayer and they recognize him, and Jesus disappears just like that. And so Luke is the only one that tells that story of the road to Emmaus in Luke 24. Luke says the gospel of the kingdom, that is the good news about Jesus, was proclaimed throughout the whole world. What's the good news? Jesus died and took away your sins. On the third day, he was raised from the dead to make you right with God. If you believe that in your heart and confess it with your mouth, you'll be saved. That's what Romans chapter 10, verses 8 through 10 teaches us.